This is the second bonus lesson on Cantaloupe Island for pianists. In the last lesson, I showed you how to play the groove on F minor 7. And now I'm going to look at the grooves on D flat 7 and also D minor 7 in the right hand. In the first bonus lesson, I showed you how to play the initial groove. I'm now going to show you how to play it on D flat 7. So there's slight alterations because the chord is slightly different. The top note stays the same. The bottom note is almost the same. So before it was, now it's going to the note B, which is the 7th of D flat, because that's in the chord. It doesn't want to go to C because there isn't a C in the chord of D flat 7, because D flat 7 is D flat, F, A flat and B. So you can try the top note and the bottom note, and that would sound like this. The inner notes, which were before were C, D and E, now have a pattern of B, D flat, E flat. It's good to see it as a sort of journey where the finger's doing. And again, keep the fingers exactly the same. 2, 3, 4. Just try bouncing on those notes. That's with the top note. It's quite tricky. Now I'm going to use the bottom note instead. So my thumb is just doing all the work at the bottom. There's more fingers working in the middle, and at the top, it's just a little finger. If you want to simplify it, take off the top note. You could probably then use different fingers. That's easier. Then you move to the chord of D minor. Now D minor is D, F, A and C, but the way that Herbie plays the chord is slightly different. So he doesn't go, well, of course there might be instances where he does play that, but in this recording it sounds like this. And that's a pretty cool chord. You've got the root of D and the 5th, which is an A. The right hand you've got, if I take it from the top, you've got the minor 3rd, F, the 7th, which is a C, and stuck at the bottom is the 11th, or you might say the 4th. The most effective thing about this chord is that the right hand is made up of notes that are a perfect 4th away from each other. And that's an interval. And if you don't know about intervals, check out my Jazz Snippets site, www.jazzsnippets.com, and those kind of things are explained very, very quickly. You look up that section on intervals. Okay, so that sounds really good. It's quite punchy. It's quite strong. If it had been this kind of chord, it sounds pretty good as well. It's just a different sound. It's like a different palette, a different colour. Okay, and that's what they do. And then back to the original groove. So in the first 2 bonus lessons, I showed you how to play the right hand in the piano groove for Cantaloupe Island. In the third and final bonus lesson, I'm going to look at how you coordinate the 2 hands and a little bit of variation to make it sound even more groovy